Wow, my powerful family, I'm just checking in for a quick minute. Oh my God, I should say that I'm hoping that wherever you are, you're okay. I'm ready for bed, guys, so I need to just wrap up. But put a hat on to cover my natural hair for now. Yeah, but today I had an appointment. I had an appointment today. So I went, saw my doctor, saw the doctor, and we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Just know that prayer do work, and if one prayer works, then we know that many prayers are doing what it needs to do. They're working. But tonight I thought about our students, and I wanted to just drop in here as I wish for all of you everything that is wholesome and beautiful and stress-free, if you can find any of those things stress-free, because everything we know comes with stress. And I'm going to talk a little about stress tomorrow night, God's willing, that we have good stress and we have bad stress. And so we'll talk about what makes it good stress, and we'll talk about what makes it bad stress. But tonight I just want to say, you know what? Parenting today is not as easy. I'm not saying it was easy in years gone by, but it was easier than it is now. And I think what happened is that years gone by, parents were more mature people, I think. And what you find is that people were willing to work with their extended families. They were willing to be humble. They were not so into stuff like they are in these days. And so in today's world, we find it's a tough go, guys. It is a tough go. Children are just now walking dollar bills. You know, years gone by, you buy your kid a little hat, and they cherish it. A regular little cotton hat with the little thing on the front, and they enjoy it. They were so proud to have their hat. Then, as times go by, we have these so-called people who they get up into life. They put out a record or a CD or a piece of music, and it made a hit, and they start creating things. The same little hat that used to be, look, I'm wearing a Jordans, right? This is my son's. This little hat, before Jordan's name went on it, was just maybe $10. The name goes on it, and the price went up 10 times. And our children are so caught up into these name brand things. They're not looking now for something just to cover their heads and keep them warm. They're not just looking for a pair of shoes to get from where they need to get to and come back. They need to spend all this kind of money. All this kind of money to just wear people's names on their bodies, just advertising. Not only do they buy these things overpriced, they are giving free advertisement so these rich people can become richer. And our children are not noticing, and the parents are not taking note. The parents are. They're just in there giving to these children. Kids don't know the value of anything. As your children are growing, please teach them that a $10 pair of shoes is just the same as a $50 pair of shoes when you're only a couple of years old. Let our young boys and girls know that they don't have to be out there in name brands to be valued. I remember when we had Payless and we had Favor, and the stores were like, you go in, you get a pair of shoes for X amount. And people, I remembered one of my close family members who, she would give her child $100 in those days. They're talking about the 80s. She would work and she'd make just enough, and she comes and she gives him $100 to go buy one pair of boot. The time it was Timberlands. Timberlands was kicking it. One pair. And you'll watch this kind of a trend where people are not valuing other people, they're only valuing things. So I'm just reminding us, guys, that you're giving your kids more riches when you teach them how to be empathetic, when you teach them kindness and good manners, when you teach them self-worth, when you teach them discipline, when you teach them hard work. There are better gifts than these name brands that you're putting on these children. I remember years ago we had it was getting ready for school, a PD as we got ready for school to reopen. And one teacher, they were saying, "Oh, Miss Seven Black, tell them why you have such good relationship with your students." Da, 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 da. And I wasn't a YouTuber. I wasn't, I was a shy person. I always tell them, look, I'm not forcing what I do on anyone, because the things I do, a lot of people are not going to do it. So I don't want people to call me out to tell what I do, because I know a lot of people wouldn't. But there was a teacher who, she said, okay, so Beverly does this, and she get them pencils, and she provide this, she provide that. She says, I will never do that. She says, they're coming without a pencil. They tell, Miss, I need a pencil. I said, do I look like Walmart? And she said the reason for that is when you look on these children's feet and see the expensive sneakers that they are wearing, when you look at their backpacks and see the quality, when you look at the hair, girls with the nails she said, why should she give them a pencil? The parents who is providing these things for them need to make sure they have what they need to come to school and work with. And you look at it and you say, yeah, you make sense. The only thing I used to try to say, well, sometimes the kids get things. So she said, it doesn't matter. 90% of them coming in here, they're wearing all the top name brand shoes. And so they need to be prepared for school as well. So a lot of times these things, and you see how these kids, they will, regardless of uniform, because nobody is enforcing and reinforcing uniforms. Parents are talking about, oh, they look like they're in prison, and what of you. So they want their kids to wear whatever. And so when you have administration who is not enforcing, I say, look, what they wear to the mall is up to them and up to you. But while they're in school, these are the reasons why we need the uniforms. I tried to teach them. I said, it's not about people not wanting you to wear your name brands or what have you. But understand this, that when you're wearing a uniform, it identifies you with this school. If something happens, God forbid something happens, somebody can look for you because you're representing something you are connected to, and somebody in the school will know who you are. If they say, we found this kid on the road and something happened and we don't know, that they can bring you back to the school. Somebody will look up and know that the name connects with somewhere. So my parents, tonight I was just thinking, I was just speaking to someone, and the whole idea of how these children today, yesterday I watched a video of kids graduating in Jamaica. Kids graduating, they have their promotion. I don't call it graduation. Graduation is when you get to high school or college. You're getting out, But while you're in the little schools, you want to call it a promotion. They're being promoted to the next grade level. And when you see those children, they did the choreography and they did it to Jerusalem. Beautiful music. But the kids in their exercise and all over Jamaica, when they do their promotional exercises, they are dressed so nicely in their uniforms. Boys in their khakis, and they get their little corsage on the thing. Girls in their uniform that they wear throughout the year. That's what they do their final marching in. Nobody needs to look at the other one and say, oh, her dress looks better than mine. Or, oh my God, look at what she's wearing. Everybody so decked out, so beautiful. Their black shoes, their blue socks, and their uniforms. so clean, so beautiful. And then I say, what happened to our kids in America? Why are they so afraid of uniforms? It doesn't take anything from anyone. Everybody, when we did for our school when a few years ago when they started saying use uniforms, and we did the survey and we met with parents. A lot of parents cannot afford the things, for their kids to look good, and so they were happy to have the uniform, because all that was happening, the kids come in and they bully each other. They laugh at kids' shoes. What are those? And they laugh at the kids and yet the kids who are humble and wearing what they could afford were doing so much better than these kids in the name brands. So tonight it rested on my heart when I saw that video yesterday, and then after conversations, that we need to teach our kids value. $250 pair of shoes means nothing to any one of them. They don't even understand it. They just wear it because it makes them feel important, or it makes them feel. But we need to teach that feeling good should be an emotional thing that is connected to good deeds, or working hard and doing well. We can't let kids feel like, oh, they should feel good because they're wearing a name brand. We need to take that. We need to. Our parents are so much younger, and they just want to be their children's friends. And if emergency comes, they don't have a dime to rub against another dime. They're just out there. As long as a lot of kids, they get suspended, and when they come back to school, what are they wearing? Name brand shoes. Get suspended from school for being disrespectful to a teacher, or to fight their peers, or to whatever they did. But when the parents come back with them, they walk in with brand new pairs of name brands. How can these kids be better? How can we expect them to grow and blossom and bloom if we're not giving them the tools to do so? So my young parents, listen, you're beautiful, you're young, you are healthy. Your reproductive system is kicking and you're doing well. You're pumping out the kids and you're doing. But please also, as you pump them out with the expectation and the desire to teach them the right way to do things, the right way to say things, the right way to live, the right way to treat others. Teach them those things. You have the ability to do that. Create good bonds with your family so that the children have that whole village around them, helping them to strive. Listen to the old people and their old sayings and teach it to your children, man. Teach them some of those good things. Tell them some stories so they can become good storytellers, and help them with their reading and their writing. Get back the old people involved. Stop pushing them away because you're so busy living your best life. Your best life is when your children have done well. When you start your family and you have worked hard with your children and they have done well, then you can say, yes, I took a human being and I helped them to become a better a great human being. Your job is not done because you can buy a name brand something and give to your kid. Stop it, guys. Stop it. You're making them love things more than they love people. And if they get sick or something happens, those things cannot help them. They need a human being to be there for them. So teach them love and respect and kindness. Teach them those beautiful, priceless gifts. Teach it to them so that they can make somebody feel good as much as they will also feel good when they do the right things. So again, my people, material things are just what they are. Things. Just things. They only have value because we're putting value in them. But cherish somebody. Cherish somebody. And as you go forth, you understand that the way you treat people, it helps their mental health. It keeps them grounded. It gives them that lift. It helps them. It helps to take away some of the anger and the frustration and the disrespect and the mean-spiritedness. So teach one, each one teach one. No? Let us try, people. Let us try. Each one teach one and be open for that learning. Young people, grab onto your old people, man. Grab onto them. And together you raise your children. Together you raise them. And so we can have a better. We are heading down into a deep, dark abyss. We are seeing how the negatives are outnumbering the positives. The negatives, even the good kids become bad kids because what? They're looking at how these kids get to come in and behave. And nothing is done. And so they say, well, I'm not going to sit here and make anybody step over me. I'm not going to sit here and do my work when they're not doing their work and nobody says anything. That's the attitude. And when teachers are forthwith and say, no, we're not going to have that, then administration pulls them down, pushes them down. They don't support. They don't encourage. As long as you're not abusing the kids, you're not embarrassing them, you're holding them accountable, encourage a teacher, no man. Encourage a teacher. You're going to get better results than you're getting right now with so much failure. We have to turn the pendulum. We can't have it just swing, 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 swing. Okay. We gotta change the direction, yo. Change that direction. Put some value into the kids' heads. Hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. And when you start doing that, they're going to become great human beings, because when they get jobs and the boss has to say something to them, it's not going to become a knocking things off the desk and puffing up and ready to fight. But they can take the counsel and they can say, oh, I'm sorry, I will do better next time. Okay, oh, I didn't even see it or didn't understand it that way. Thank you for guiding me. They will use those words. But when parents are not holding them accountable, grandparents are missing, or some of the grandparents, they're worse too, because a lot of them, they're buying the kids' love. They keep buying the kids' love. They don't, oh, no. They can't do that. They just think everything is cute. Everything is funny. You look on YouTube, there's some little kids there saying some things. If you made it, and they find it funny. And it gets 1 million views. The little things, and they encourage these kind of a negative behavior, and then, my God, later on you cannot curb the kid. You can't curb them, and they want to talk to adults how they want to talk because they think it's okay. It's not funny. Teach your kids good values. Believe me, they work. They work. Remember, your kids are going to become teenagers. They're not going to want to be your friends then. By 10, you can't even hug them again or anything. By 10, oh, it's okay. They jump out your vehicle, they're gone. They don't want you to hug them. They don't want you. They're just gone. Not even thank you. But teach them those things. You drop them off somewhere. Let them stop for a moment and say thank you. The other day, I see how cold it was outside. Donnie was out there in the cold. He came in. And I said, thank you. He smiled because he didn't expect it. But it smiled. It made him feel good. So let's teach those good things, guys. They're priceless. There's no money value you can put in those things that bring a smile to somebody's face or bring an upliftment to somebody's heart. Teach them the right things. Believe me, they come back to you. When my kids speak to me, I am happy. I taught them the right things because they speak to me with respect. They speak to me with love. We have light moments when we laugh out loudly. We have good talking times. We visit one another. There's nobody running away and, oh my God, no, I'm not coming. Everybody wants to come to mommy. All roads lead to mommy. Was I an easy parent? No. I held them accountable. My son laughs. We still have a joke. I'm teaching. Send him to school. I said, son, I provide the roof over your head. I make sure you have your clean clothing. You have enough to change for school. You have everything you need. The only job you have to do is to go to school and learn. I said, the gift I promise all three of you to give to you is an education. Is an education. Who wants it takes it. If you want to go to trade school, whatever you want to take it. I'm going to be here. A single parent. Went to school doing my teaching, and the classroom phone rings, and it was his teacher calling me. So now, I don't expect a teacher to play a joke. So I picked up the phone, and I saw that it was his school, and I said, hello. And he says, hi, Mom. I said, are you okay, son? He says, yes, Mommy. I said, so why is this call coming to my number? He says, Mommy, the teacher is just playing. He just dialed the phone and said, and he's just playing. I said, but I don't play. I said, you better not be getting in trouble over there. And I said something like, the kids were cracking up in the back, and I said, why are they gritting their dirty teeth? I didn't know he had me on speaker. But he says, Mommy, that was a moment. Because the kids were saying, but your mom not, they're just laughing like it's funny. It shouldn't be funny for a teacher to be calling a parent because the kid is acting up. But luckily he wasn't acting up. But he says, Mommy, the teacher he was telling the kids, they see, that's a parent who doesn't play. No, don't play with young kids because they need to grow and be strong and give back to society. And when they do that, believe me, they will do the same for you as a parent. You don't want when they get to be 18, you can't talk to them. You can't wait until they get to and all of a sudden you're fussing and you're arguing and every day it's a fight. I don't want to be there. Get out here. You gotta get out. You gotta go. When my son moved out, my daughters went away to high school. They went away to college. When we went to Jamaica, they didn't come back. They finished high school in Jamaica. I came back to teach. I left them with the helper. Christopher came up in December, 6 months later. He says, Mommy, wherever you are, I need to be with you. So he stayed and the girls went back. They loved the sunshine and they finished high school. And they came up and they went to University of Buffalo in the cold 25 inches of snow. And when they came here, when they finished college, I said, I was so happy. They said, Mommy, we can't do the cold anymore. We want to go to Atlanta. I got them ready. I didn't say, well, you got to earn your own money to go. Nope. I gave them bought the tickets, gave them their money, so their pockets. When they found an apartment, I said, and that's how it should be. That the respect they give to you and the hard work they put in, when they need support, you're going to be right there. And as you help them build, believe me, you will never go to bed hungry. So let us help our children, guys. I couldn't buy them name brands, anything. My daughters are still so they're minimalist. They don't want a lot of anything. They don't wear name brand anything. They're regular girls, secure in what they do, and if I'm hungry, they can feed another mouth. So why not raise our children to be that way? Let us raise them to be decent human beings so they can give back to society in a great way. That's all I'm going to ask you tonight, because I love all of you. I thank all of you for your support. And all the new viewers, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I see you leave comments, but then I don't see that you subscribe. So please hit the subscribe button. And all of you watching the videos, I thank you so much. Thank you, Trending, for sharing them out for me and making sure, the J. Jordan, thank you guys for sharing the videos. And as we continue to grow, we'll grow together and we'll build together as each one helps one. And I send love and strength to all of you where you are tonight. As I say, good night. If you can't be good, be careful. Walk good, do good. Guide your children. Don't try to bend the tree when it's too old. By 18, they don't want to hear you. 15, they don't want to hear you. Bend it when it's young. And so that, you see, when you bend it, it's easy. But when it gets old, it's going to break. And that's how we're going to have problems. So let's love our children, but show love not only by giving stuff that they have no value in them. It doesn't mean anything to them more than to show off. But give them stuff that will last them a lifetime. Good night, my family. Good night.